Hello YouTube, Lyricide17 here, but you can just call me Travis, and welcome back for another video. This one being the, as you can see from the title, the Punk, the Jason Hook Made Me by part 2, the second wave video. We'll get into more of what that really means in a second. But yeah, I'll just kind of talk at you for a second about my punk journey. Again, it's just been super fun, a little overwhelming. I'm kind of making myself listen to a little bit too much stuff, and well, that's actually great in the long run. Sometimes I can feel like I'm not giving everything enough due listening to really capture what I should be hearing. But I also do think that that is sort of also counteracted by the fact that a lot of the stuff's a little bit shorter, so I'm listening to it a lot, like in a row. So it sort of maybe is eating me up. I'm not sure. Before we go any further, in the background we're listening to this album. It's from a band called Refused. That was called The Shape of Punk to Come. This is actually an album I've had forever. I think someone, a friend of mine, suggested this to me like in the early 2000s. I think it's like 90s album, 98 when it came out. You know, I wouldn't say I really had any idea what punk sounded like at all when this was suggested to me, but you know, some of the stuff just sounded good to me, so I got it, and yeah, it's been forever actually since I've listened to this. So here we go. So where were we at? Anyway, punk journey. It's been fun, cool stuff. Sort of just some of the stuff I've been gravitating towards. I definitely I've been kind of trying to sample a little bit of kind of whatever, you know, anything and under the punk umbrella. But I definitely have aired onto the side of stuff that's a little more fast and aggressive, power violence-y, grindcore-y, that kind of thing. More typically harsh vocals, that rather than like sort of I don't know if I would say harsh. Harsh vocals. We'll go harsh vocals. More than like not necessarily singing vocals, but just a little more clean, non-screaming vocal versus that. So anyway, not to say that everything that I've been listening to is like those things that I've said, but that's sort of the things that I've tended to like more so. I've also been heavily leaning on album art, which has been actually really interesting. One of my favorite reoccurring like motif, whatever, tropes is sort of like masks or ski masks, that kind of thing, with like you know, like with images or scenes that make me think that they are either currently committing a crime or are going to be committing a crime. For example, just because this is one I've already shown, and this is a perfect example of that. Here is the Ultraviolence Crime for Revenge release. If I see something like this and I haven't heard it already, I immediately am like, okay, this has good potential to be pretty good. And I have to say, pretty consistently, it is something I like. So I don't know if that's just like some sort of subconscious bias that I have, which is possible, or sort of the people who are creating this kinds of stuff that I like more also sort of like having that imagery along with their band. Not really sure, but hey, that's how it goes. I've kind of rambled enough here, so let's get into the video. Definition of second wave. This is kind of stuff that wasn't necessarily prompted specifically from the notorious Jason Hook. This is a lot more stuff that was sort of like, I was excited about punk like right at the very beginning, and this is kind of the stuff that I sort of searched around and found on my own. So that's kind of cool. There is a few first wave releases that I want to talk about, though. They weren't, or they didn't arrive when I did the first wave video, but they definitely are under the first wave umbrella. So I'll show those first. So let's get into it, as Jason Nick would say. Okay. Sorry. The first one up here we're going to talk about. This is something that Jason Hook said specifically in his video to get, not to me, but to everyone. And literally he was just like, just get it. That is this is the Every Winter is Cold, a New England hardcore compilation, as you can actually see specifically right on here. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a bunch of New England hardcore bands. This is a 2019 release, so all this stuff is just brand spanking new. Yeah, skulls all over the place. I also am seeing a lot of skulls. Actually, you know what? I think this actually might have actually been. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's 2019. Anyway, let's move on. By the way, I bought this on Bandcamp, so I already have the digital. So if you would like to download it, first come, first serve. Good luck. Yeah, awesome stuff. I'm not usually typically a compilation guy, but I thought this was a good opportunity, as I was so new to the genre, and I think it's kind of cool because I ended up, you know, finding some interesting bands that I wouldn't necessarily have maybe found on my own. Anyway, I'll just show some of the stuff inside real quick here. Here is inner sheet, or yeah, lyrics, pictures, and stuff from the bands that are on this release. Some of my favorites songs on here, definitely Pummel, Shell Shock. Damn, that song, that is like the perfect song to start off this compilation. Easily my favorite track on the whole thing. Just really good stuff. Also really liked Kind. Their song Undefeated was really good. And then Tidal, or Tidal, Title by Brother, that's probably my top 3 favorites, I would say. Yeah, I would say probably also other ones that were good. Corrode, Vantage Point, Boiling Point, I think also. Is that really what it is? Boiling Point? I never actually realized that till just now. Vantage Point and Boiling Point. Obviously, Peace Test as a song on here. Jason Hook actually did an interview with that band over at Boston Hustle. Kind of a fun read. I'll link to that. I picked up their demo, which was pretty good. Wound Band also on here. Good stuff. They did a split, I'm not sure, I think maybe last year, I can't remember exactly when it was, with Regional Justice Center, which I've recently, having seen an album, I know Jason has shown them before, but they're a band that I've come across from my area, really into them. Anyways, Wound Man did a split with them, and he still needs to pick that one up. Anyway, overall, really cool stuff on this one. Don't love everything on here, but you know, there's a good sizable amount of stuff on here to kind of whet the appetite, give me kind of a path to follow down for some more stuff. Came with a poster for what was this, Therapy. Atomic Action is the name of the label that put this out, by the way. I'm not sure. Anyway, I ended up with a second one. So if you're interested in this at all, let me know. I'll give it to you. Came on this, which I don't know if this is what it's called, but we'll call it Snow White vinyl, as it is the Every Winter is Cold compilation. I thought that the white was a very fitting color. Yeah, I can't speak too much to whether you know, if you're into hardcore and stuff like that, whether this is like a, you know, a really amazing compilation or anything like that. But anyway, as someone who's a newbie to you know, listening to a lot of this stuff, I found it to be pretty solid overall. Yeah, and I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, check it out. Every Winter is Cold, a New England hardcore compilation. Let's see if I can quickly get this put in here and not waste your time. I think it's probably going to be a disaster, but who knows. Oh, that was pretty good. All right, yeah. All right, at the same time, I was just kind of looking out to see what else they had to sell, and I was looking through their CD specifically. As you know, that is my my number one medium of choice, and I definitely noticed when it comes to punk that CD is definitely not a high priority of release, but that's okay. Anyway, this they had this CD for sale. They sort of had it as a like sort of a classic or a worthwhile seminal hardcore release, that kind of thing. And I thought, hey, why not? So I picked it up. This is Verbal Assault. The album's called Trial. This was released like 1987 or something like that. Definitely like 80s, it say on here. Yeah, 1987 is what it says. Pretty good stuff. Definitely a lot more of what I would consider kind of sort of more traditional hardcore, you know, riffy kind of stuff going on. Like that kind of vocal effect going on. You know, not anything that ended up super loving, but this is pretty cool stuff. I definitely, especially seeing as that it came out in 1987, I definitely could see how that it is a viewed as sort of a classic release, if you will. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, don't have anything else really to say about it, but yeah, kind of cool stuff. Verbal Assault Trial. All right, next one up. This one actually, this is the last one actually that's from First Wave stuff. This is one actually I've had on my Discogs want list since Jason originally showed it, which was sometime last year. This is one of those times where like you put it on your Discogs want list and you like, it never shows up, but you never actually go to the release and realize, oh, someone else has actually put out other versions of it. So I happened to just, in my newfound excitement, happened to go over to the band, and I realized that, oh, there was another label put out this release, so I got a version, and let me show it to you now. This is Kicking Your Face by Brigade. All right, Brigade. This is, like I said, this is a release that Jason showed last year that I thought was awesome. I listened to it and thought it was fantastic, but there wasn't any for sale at the time. And this is a band from Colombia, and their releases were not easy to come by. So I had them on my Discogs want list. They never came up, but like I said, I realized that someone else put them out. That being, what is it, Backside? Yeah, Backside Records, a Spanish record label. And anyway, this is just rad stuff. These guys definitely know how to fuck around with riffs. Good stuff. Also solos, like literally the track Stomp, Kicking Your Face. That song alone, like it could literally just be that track on here. I still would have bought it. That track freaking rips. Anyway, awesome stuff. Like I said, out of Colombia, just like you know, really cool, riffy, awesome hardcore stuff. Comes on this translucent emerald looking green. Yeah, just the guitar work on this release is just really rad. Overall, I love it. Has this little paper insert, which I love. why I can't hold this. I'm very inept right now. Alright, anyway, cool stuff. Definitely, if you're into some ripping hardcore, Raw Brigade is going to be right up your alley. I definitely need to pick up some more physical stuff from this band. I have it on my... I don't think, like, literally anything else is for sale, and I can't really find it. But, anyway, if I can, I will buy it. If you know how to get it, let me know, Jason, you know. Anyway, awesome stuff. This release kills. Pick it up. Raw Brigade, kicking your face. Pretend this is a foot. Alright, next one up. Now we're going to the second wave. This is all stuff that I was like, oh man, I love punk. Jason's got some cool stuff, but I'm kind of ready. I'm ready to jump out on my own and see what else I can find. So this isn't necessarily an order in which I found it, but sort of a lot of it's like around like the same couple days. Anyway, let's get started. This first one up, this is an album by Leather Liquors called The Scarred, oh no, sorry, the Eye of the Scarred, or the Scared, sorry, the Scared, it's Scared because there's like one R. This is actually 2019 release, 3 tracks, Australian hardcore punk band, just good, solid, fast, aggressive, hardcore punk. They also have a self-titled release out. This is actually the same year. I have it on the way. It hasn't come yet. But anyway, I'll obviously show that when it arrives. Yeah, really good stuff. You know, only 3 tracks, but just blistering stuff. I really like the artwork. I like that the effect going on here. Same thing going on in the back. Released on Cool Death, which I think is it's the band's label, but I'm not totally sure about that. Just red on the inside. White labels. Cool Death. It's on black. Came with a sticker, Leather Liquors. Couple fold-out inserts. Like I said, I've been really enjoying this kind of, even if it's not DIY. I like the sort of DIY feel a lot of this stuff has. Here's a Cool Death Records. I'm not sure what the fuck this is. It's like a lion holding a skull with a flag banner with some musical notes on it, and he's jazzed. So yeah, that's awesome. And then I think this is actually a thing for the band. Here's like a live shot picture of Leather Liquors. And then on the back side we got lyrics, photos, some info. Anyway, really cool stuff. You know, yeah, really into it. Good hardcore punk, nice and aggressive. Yeah, good stuff overall. I'm kind of surprised overall. Maybe not surprised, but it's interesting how much of Australian stuff has kind of come across my way, because overall I really liked a lot of it. And anyway, this release is one of them. I stacked this too much full. What am I doing? Leather Liquors. I'll talk about the full-length self-titled album. That's another thing that's kind of interesting. Like, the parameters of what's like an EP and like an album and stuff is like totally just like the parameters of the definitions are like totally altered for punk. So I'm not really sure what to call stuff sometimes. Anyway, 3-track EP, Leather Liquors, The Eye of the Scared. Check it out. Alright, next one up. These next two are from the same artist. And these were sort of, I want to say these are fantastic gateway releases, and I'll explain why in a second. Anyway, I'll show the one that popped up first, and that's awesomely and specifically and obviously because of the album art, because it's so fantastic. And that is this self-titled EP from the band Warthog. They're a New York hardcore band, just energetic riffs, just good solid hardcore punk stuff going on. Released on Static Shock Records, which is a label that I'm now super into, just based on some of the releases that I picked up from them, this being one of them. Really cool stuff by this band. Like I said, this album art is freaking fantastic. Let's get a closer look at it because it's so good. One thing that's kind of interesting about the jacket, it has a interesting kind of textured feel to it. It almost kind of feels like pastels and like recently done. So it's like if you feel like if you rubbed your fingers across it, it would be all over your hands. But anyway, that's just how it feels. Anyway, cool stuff. Here's the top half, and it folds out with some more fantastic artwork. That's what it looks like close up. And there's the top half close up. Some one of these has got to be the. Well, actually, you know, I think I have an idea of what I would like the thumbnail for this. Anyway, anyway, clearly drawn to artwork. Everyone, make sure your artwork rolls because people sometimes lean on it to find good stuff. Here's an insert. Lyrics. 4 tracks. Just on black, I think. Yeah. Anyway, really cool stuff. Glad to have found this band. They are really, really solid. I think they have some other releases too. Definitely, they have like a live cassette, which you know, generally not into live stuff. I'm sort of half considering jumping into some live stuff when it comes to punk, because I've kind of found that you know, I've liked some of the really kind of rawness and sort of for the lack of a better term, like not as great as production stuff. Like I found like an appealing quality to it, sort of like in a black metal way, I would say. And anyway, so I'm sort of you know, considering trying some live albums, see what I think. So the one for this band Warthog might be one of them. Anyway, so that's that release. Here's another one. That one came out in 2016. This is a 2018 release. This is also a self-titled EP called Warthog. Again, obviously by the band Warthog. Also, 4 tracks. Really annoying to use on iTunes. iTunes cannot handle 2 different releases that are from the same band, that are both self-titled. Even if like they're not from the same year, iTunes like can't handle it. Anyway, fantastic. Another not as great artwork, but still good stuff. Definitely, you can see they sort of have a mascot, this skull guy with the little thingy things here in the hair. Anyway, just awesome, more energetic, riffy hardcore. Also on Static Shock Records. So yeah, like I said, I was looking to see what else the label had, and I saw, oh, they have another release by the same band, Warthog. I'll definitely pick that up. And there's I don't know if you can see it, there's lyrics in here. And it's obviously says Warthog over and over. And then a skull on this side, and then obviously this one's clear. awesome stuff. Definitely recommend these guys if you don't know them. Yeah, just nice, solid New York hardcore stuff. And yeah, I might check out that live album, because I've seen it pop up a couple times for on Discogs for some of the other. I'm looking for something else, and that seller also selling that. So you never know, it might pop up. Anyway, yeah. Also, like I said, all self-titled Warthog. All right, and then there was one more release that I got with my Static, because that's what I ordered from on Bandcamp. Was actually Static Shock Records, and got one more release. It was the album art that initially drew me to this one, and I gotta say, I am like jacked beyond belief how excited I am that I listened to this album, because it is not only one of my overall favorite releases of everything that I've listened to, but definitely my favorite release from my favorite artist that I found on my own. It's possible that someone else mentioned this artist before, but if they did, it bypassed me, and yeah. Anyway, let me show it to you now, because this album rules. This is Fada by Disguise. You tell me you saw that, you see that, you wouldn't check that out? Yeah, you know you would. This is a band out of Ireland, Dublin. Hardcore punk. Oh my god, like I said, this album freaking rules. Let me just get a... Anyway, one of the words that the label used to describe this release is blown out. And you know what? I really gotta say, I love that descriptor, because this shit is just like it is just not only is it aggressive, but just like there's something about it that's kind of like, you know, like how there's like sound clipping, like the volume is sort of too loud for like the capabilities of the audio technology and stuff. There's sort of that kind of aspect to this release as a whole that sort of just like totally makes it awesome. Like I said, everything is aggressive. The vocals are just like it's almost like an echoing demon dog man like vocal. I don't know, it just sounds awesome. The cymbals just sound like there's like an extra like distortion to them. I don't know, just everything on this album is just like freaking is like so good. I love it so much. Immediately went out and checked out the rest of the material by this band. Here's a insert lyrics on the side. Comes on. Here's the Static Shock. Comes on a cool looking translucent yellow, which is like pretty much perfect considering the color scheme going on here. Anyway, I I really like honestly cannot recommend this album enough. Like I was like when I was buying this, I almost like was like going crazy and like almost bought like 40,000 copies to like just like hand out on the street to like anyone who cared, because I was just like, man, this release is, I was just, it honestly, like if I had like any meter of excitement level left to gain in my punk journey excitement level meter, it like went all the way to the max level once I just discovered this release, because so good. If I didn't say 2019 release, I actually even was like, is it possible? Because it's like, I think like 8 minutes or something in total. I was like, can an 8-minute release be in my top 30? Like, I honestly loved it this much that I considered it. I considered it for like my main list. Ultimately, I decided that I would leave it for my EPs, honorable mentions, other stuff list prior to the top 30. But man, if there was a release that there was an atypical album release and to make the top 30, this one, Fada, Disguise, Irish fucking hardcore punk, awesome stuff. So like I said, I looked into everything else by the band and was not disappointed at all. The first album, Static Shock, that one came out in 2013. That one's probably actually my second favorite of the two, with Fada being my favorite. So actually the fact that the 2019 release is my favorite is fantastic. Anyway, System Shock 2013 EP, good stuff. Really like that one a lot. The copy has not arrived yet. I'll show that when it comes. But yeah, anyway, really good stuff. The second one, album. This one's called, what are the Signs of the Future. Really like the sort of terrible headlines album cover going on here. This came out in 2015. This is also on Static Shock Records. Yeah, really awesome stuff on this one too. I'm literally like fanboy at this point about this band. I'm trying to like, I'm already a collector scum, trying to pick up all the variants and stuff like that. Need to pick up the red vinyl variant of this one. Anyway, this one is another just fantastic release by this band. Love it a lot. Let me show you the insides here. Here's the, start on the side. Fire, poison, genocide, sign of the future. Just black, yeah, it's just in black. Awesome stuff. Like I said, this is my favorite band that I've discovered on my own, and I super highly recommend you definitely check them out if you don't know them already, because they freaking crush. This one's Disguise, Signs of the Future. Awesome stuff. Alright, next couple up. Got a few cassettes to show you if I can sleeve this accurately. Wow. There we go. Got a couple of cassettes. Got them from the same seller. Was looking for one thing in particular, and I noticed they had another release that was interesting, so I picked it up too. I'll show the first one. This was the one I was in particular looking for. This is the Cadaver Dog demo. James Trejo 2012. I showed. I'll show it again just because the album art's so good. This release, Dying Breed. This is one of my favorite releases that I've discovered so far. Anyway, Dying Breed, not discovered, I guess, but arguing about it. But anyway, Dying Breed, Cadaver Dog, awesome stuff. A lot harder than it should have been. Anyway, this is the 2012 demo, Youth Attack Records. Actually, I think this is the cover. Gotta admit, I didn't really know when I was ordering both of these tapes that they were elaborate packaging, which was just like a fucking superb bonus. So anyway, let's kind of scroll through it together. So here's the first flap. And then this is kind of the. Let me fix this other part that you didn't see fall out. And it comes in this cool little cassette sleeve. You didn't realize it slipped out. Anyway, here's so far I've really enjoyed not only do I love all of the music that's on Youth Attack, but a lot of the packaging has just been like fucking rad as shit. So yeah, just I'm really into Youth Attack. Youth Attack is some good stuff. So anyway, like I said, Cadaver Dog, 2012 demo. James Trejo. I'm in love with pretty much everything that guy has done, and this is just one of those things. Cadaver Dog demo. All right, I'll put this back in the bag later. And then at the same time, I saw there was another Youth Attack release. And it was like $4, so I was like, why the fuck not? And ended up listening to it on Bandcamp, and I was like, this is some rad stuff. This is definitely a little more grindcore than a lot of the other stuff that I've listened to. But anyway, it was still fitting the bill quite nicely. This is Euthanizer with Permanent Damage. I think this might be a solo artist. I'm not totally sure on that. A US artist too, I think, maybe. Again, not totally sure. This one is even more elaborate in the packaging. I have to even like be careful. It's all like tear to shreds. So first it comes out of like kind of there. And it folds out like there. And then there's like the cassette. So I'll pull it out now. And I'll finish showing you the rest of this. So there's like a little where the cassette goes, and then this part actually folds out more so. See this too. Not sure which way is the correct way anyway. Anyway, love it. And then here's the cassette. It looks like a skull, I think. This is some pretty good stuff, and you know, it's like 5-6 minutes, just like blistering, pretty much on grindcore as far as I'm concerned. But definitely, I could definitely hear the punk influence going on. So it's still within the realm of stuff that I've been loving lately. Here's the J card. Yeah, I think it's just this one guy. It doesn't say. But yeah, anyway, this is good stuff. For $4, it was like, as far as I'm concerned, particularly when you consider the like awesome, elaborate packaging, youth attack style, super worth it. So very, very glad to pick this one up. Euthanizer, permanent damage. I'll also bag this one up in a second. All right, moving on. This one actually is this one's almost a first wave, but it sort of fell off my radar and only came back on because of my punk stuff. This is the self-titled EP from Exit Order. This is a Boston hardcore band. I picked up their 2017 release, Seeds of Hysteria, because of Jason. I sort of wanted to pick this one up too, but like I said, it sort of just kind of fell off my radar. Kind of forgot about it, but was reinvigorated to wanting to buy it, and obviously did so. Female vocals, really like the vocals a lot on this release. I would say actually kind of I've grown to really like female vocals in punk. In particular, on here, the Exit Order, both releases, the vocals are fantastic. I think she kind of, in particular, has really special vocals. But anyway, an artist I discovered just the other day, Torso, they awesome vocals. There's a guest vocalist on the very end of the Peace test demo that I picked up that has awesome female vocals. I think it's like related to maybe a wife or a sister or something of one of the band members. It's only a couple of lines, but like, I don't know, she just comes in at the very end of the release and just like kills it. Anyway, but really enjoyed female vocals in punk so far. And anyway, female vocals on this one, and they rule. Like I said, there's something special about the vocals here. She just sounds awesome. Really cool riffs, just kind of punky punk kind of stuff going on. Yeah, good stuff. This came out 2015, I want to say. I'm not totally sure. On side 2. See if I can pull this stuff out of here. It's like giving me problems for some reason. Here's the insert lyrics. White on the inside. No. I think it's just black. Yep, just black. Anyway, cool stuff. I really recommend this band a lot. Definitely is, I would say, more in the outliers of stuff that I've been listening to. Like I said, I've been listening to a lot of like really aggressive, harsh vocal focused, hardcore punk stuff. And this is definitely much more so on the riffy catchy punky stuff. Anyway, cool stuff. Both this one, the self-titled Exit Order EP, and the Seeds of Hysteria LP. Both are just really fantastic stuff. I can't recommend them enough. Exit Order, self-titled EP. All right, next one up. This is I don't know if this is a classic release or not. I sort of feel like it might be. I have to say, this is how I discovered this release. I was recently going through Warlord Clothing, which I'll get to it in a later video. But really been obsessed with Extortion. The Australian power violence band. And anyway, Warlord Clothing has a bunch of Extortion shirts and merch. I bought a bunch of Extortion stuff. And they kind of had some sectioned off areas of like a way of like what's the word I want? Limiting the search or whatever you want. I can't think of the word I want. But anyway, I kind of just was like going through and seeing what other shirts look good. Maybe I would find a shirt for a band that I actually knew and would want to buy, or I also was sort of just seeing what shirts had cool images, and maybe that would lead me to a band that was cool. And anyway, I saw this image, and it was sort of like, oh, you know what? I feel like I've seen that image before, so it made me go check this album out, and I was very happy to have. Alright, sorry about that. That was weird. It said that I had reached the maximum file size, even though it was literally the only file on my phone. Anyway, let's move on. The album I was talking about, this one, Brutalize by Sweden's Driller Killer. This came out in 1994. It is riffy as fuck. Yeah, I was like immediately into this one, and I think it was the song "Acts of Violence," track number 8 on here. When that one came on, I was officially 104% sold. And if you know me, I don't go over 100% very often, and 104% is the number that I give often when you do. Just so good, awesome stuff. It sort of has it started a referential what's the word I want, motif, sort of this kind of image of a punk with the jacket and the studs and the spiky hair. Sort of when that kind of stuff is referenced, I've sort of generally kind of liked it. It sort of feels generally more kind of along lines of this kind of stuff, a little more riffy, less brutal, fast stuff. So that's kind of cool to kind of see, like the. I've never actually seen the movie that I'm assuming this is a reference to, Driller Killer. It's always been on my want list to see. Just never done it. So a failure on my part. Anyway, awesome stuff. Definitely looking forward to listening to more stuff by this band. Definitely already have a couple of recommendations lined up. So I'll probably hit those ones up first. So anyway, awesome stuff. Love this release. Probably one of my favorites that I found, to be honest. Brutalize, Driller Killer. Alright, one more band. This one actually is kind of cool. So when my wife was in high school, there was a German exchange student that attended her high school, and without going through a long story, the German exchange student ended up living with my wife and her family, and they became very, very, very good friends. She was a bridesmaid in my wedding. Anyway, my wife even went and visited her with my mother-in-law this past September. They did a little European tour in Germany. It was one of the spots they hit up, and so they visited her. Anyway, with my new excitement about punk, my wife sort of reminded me that Vipka, her brother, Enno, is that his name? Enno, I think his name is Enno. Anyway, that he was in a punk band, and so I thought, you know what? Let's see if I can find if they have stuff on Discogs, and lo and behold, they did. So I just bought the discography because I thought, you know what? That's kind of cool. So why not do it? So here we go. This is what we found. The band is called the Grabowskis. They're a German band. I'm not really sure what Grabowskis is a reference to, but that's how it is. Anyway, this is their first album. This is called 1977. I'm not really sure what kind of band you call this. They're definitely a lot more like kind of like punky punk, a little more like traditional sing-songy kind of sound. I don't know if pop punk is the right term. I've heard Jason use that term, pop punk, before. I would say prior to watching YouTube, pop punk to me was more like a term in the pop music realm. Like I would say, like pop punk would be something like Fall Out Boy or something. So that's definitely not what Jason's referring to when he says pop punk. So I'm not sure what that really means. But anyway, this is definitely much more of a straightforward song sound through a punk. It's definitely punk music, but you know, it definitely is less aggressive than a lot of the other stuff I'm listening to. I would also say it's pretty varied. I think even on this release, there's like horns on like an song or two, so it definitely has like a ska feel, even sort of. I don't know. Don't listen to what I'm saying. But anyway, cool stuff. It's been cool to kind of listen to this stuff. This particular release. I like the other album I'll show next better. Has this insert here. I'm not totally sure. I tried to kind of figure it out. Again, a lot of other stuff's in German, and there's not really a lot of credits on their stuff. I think Enno is the singer in the band. I'm not totally sure, to be honest. Yeah. Out of 500, mine's number 373. Can you see that? Yeah. There we go. Sticker. Some castle. I'm not sure if this is... Doesn't look like Neuschwanstein. Was the other one Hagen Schwenau or something like that? I'm not sure. I don't think it's that one either. But that's cool. This came in all the releases, which I thought was awesome. My wife actually even said to me that when she was just there, this was like a forefront political issue going on in Germany, something about pesticides and stuff. So these actually came in all of the releases that I got. So, and they were like sealed stuff. So I thought that was cool. So obviously this is something that the band Grabowskis is a big. This is big in their political wheelhouse. Obviously, this is in German, so I have no idea what's going on here. But anyway, there's that. This one's just on black, I think. Yep, just black. White labels on this side. Black labels on this side. Anyway, cool stuff. 1977. Like I said, this isn't my favorite of their. I'll worry about that in a second. Favorite of their releases, but it's pretty cool stuff. Obviously, I'm into more of the more brutal, aggressive stuff, but it's pretty cool. It's cool for a different feel. This is their second album. This is a in German title. This is Sicher in die Zukunft. That's what we're going to go with. I'm sure I butchered that, but it's probably not too bad of a pronunciation. Not too bad. This one came out in 2017, I believe. I don't know if I said. I think the other one came out in 2014. I also sort of prefer this album art. Black and white. I've noticed that like 80% of punk is like two-tone, and like 99% of the two tones are black and white, which actually I don't mind at all. It looks pretty rad, generally speaking. Again, same thing going on with this one. A little more, you know, punk. It's punk, but it's you know, a little more less brutal focused and more song focused is what we'll say. Like I said, pesticide flyer. I thought this was funny. Here's a Grabowsky sticker with a quote on it. "This band is all you need to know about what's wrong with German punk rock," says Semspa, which I'm not sure who that is. But that's what they think about their Grabowskis. Here's the inner sheet. White on this side, black text. Black on this side with white text. I think it's just black on this one too. Nope, I'm wrong. It is like a clear, I don't know if you can see it, it doesn't really look like it's showing. It's like a clear purple with like maybe like a weird black marbling on the inside. It doesn't even look purple on the screen. Anyway, it's purple, trust me. Side A. Side B. Anyway, cool stuff. Again, not anything that that I'm loving more than most of the stuff I'm listening to, but it's just kind of a cool change of pace, and just kind of a cool thing to have in general, just sort of because of the not familial connection, but you know what I mean. And then one last release from them. This one's actually a split with the band Manege Frei. Really like the album art here. That's the Manege Frei side. This is the Grabowsky side, which is much more boring, I have to say. I have number, what's this? 191 of 300 here. There was actually 2 different colors of this one. This one is the lila, as they called it. Purple, obviously, is what you see. I actually ordered this through Discogs, like I said, because that's where I looked for all these. It was actually a German record store, Green Hell. Everything arrived awesomely, so definitely if you need to pick up some German releases specifically, and maybe you see Green Hell, buy from them, because it'll probably work out for you. Here's the inside. But yeah, like I said, this is the better of the two. Manege Frei, good stuff too. Yeah, I would say it's similar-ish stuff overall to the Grabowskis. Maybe a good comparison is stuff like, like a Dropkick Murphys, Flogging Molly kind of thing, but maybe less folk with like the horns and all that. Like there's less of that stuff. It's just kind of more straightforward stuff. Like I said, there's 2 colors, so I thought, what the fuck, why not pick up both colors? Everything came with digital downloads. Since I didn't need 2 of this, go ahead and attempt to get my other download of the split if you would like it. By the way, I really like the record label. What is it? Clap Stack Records. It's good stuff. Anyway, like I said, picked up the same split, just the other color. This one came on a beautiful green, almost like a Kelly green color maybe. Looks good. Thought, you know what, I'll probably never buy the other color if I don't do it right now. So I did. Pesticide flyer. Good stuff. Love it. Anyway, super glad to pick up these. These ones, obviously, this whole band, the Grabowskis, was not influenced by Jason Token whatsoever, other than they play punk music. But my wife said, why not pick them up? So I was like, you know what? I should. So I did. So yeah, that's it. The Grabowskis, Manege Frei, Grabowskis Split.
Fast täglich in der Glotze drin zu sehen, das viele auf mich abfahren, das kann ich nicht verstehen. It's my life, work in a fucking factory, the only place
that's it for the second wave video. As you can see, this is a very long video. Gonna have 2 more videos for sure, and then we're just gonna at that point slide Punk into the general collection updates, as it were. Yeah, that's what I've decided. So that's how it's gonna go. So anyway, here we go. That's the end of the second wave. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're familiar with any of the releases that I showed here today, please let me know what you think of them, and otherwise, have a good day.